Okay, good. Thank you for the warm introductions. Uh, I'm going to present with you my innovation project entitled Project Ease in ADSO. It was an acronym. E stands for Easy, and A Access, SE Service, and D Delivery in Administrative Service Office. It was an innovations based on the system processes being done in our school admin office in the Department of Education, Region 3, Schools Division of Pampanga, in Santa Maria National High School. Now, before I'm going to discuss what are my this is the basis actually of my innovations. Before I'm going to discuss with you the background or the situation analysis, first I'm going to discuss the origins of the Citizens Charter, the Citizens Charters and the Philippine Legislative, and the Citizens Charter and Research Study of the Philippine Government, and the Citizens Charters in the Department of Education, okay, in the Philippines, and now in the Citizens Charters in Santa Maria National Schools, wherein where I'm designated. Now, okay. The origins of the Citizens Charters. The concept of Citizens Charter was first articulated and implemented in the United Kingdom by the Conservative government of John Major in 1991 as national program with the simple aim to continuously improve the quality of public service for the people of the country, so that these services respond needs and the wishes of the users of the source. My source of this particular phrase is the Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Governance in India during in 2017. Okay. Now, it was implemented in the Philippines way back in 2007, and then they enacted the law, the Republic Act 9487, or the Anti-Red Tape Act of 2007. This concept is to preserve the trust of the public to the government, which also a commitment sworn to our stakeholders as public servants of our country. Thus, this concept was adopted by enacting a law by the Philippine legislatures through the Republic Act 9485, otherwise known as the Anti-Red Tape Act of 2007. The aim of this to improve the efficiency of delivery government services to the public by reducing government red tape and preventing graft and corruption. This act also requires all agencies to maintain the honesty and responsibility among its officials and employees, and shall be appropriate measures to promote the transparency and agency in regards to the matter transacting with the public. In the Section 2 of the Republic Act 11032, it was otherwise known as East Doing Business Act and Efficient Government Service Delivery Act of 2018, states that it is hereby declared that the policy of the state to promote integrity, accountability, proper management of the public affairs and public property, as well as establish effective practices aimed at efficient turnaround of delivery of government services and prevention of graft and corruption in the government. Okay. During last 2017, Ms. Lizan Perante Calina conducted a research. It focused on the assessment on the contribution of the citizens' charters in the governance of in the past 7 years of implementations, particularly how frontline service are delivered. Since it was enacted in 2017 and then the study was conducted in 2015, it was 7 years ago. Since the implementation of the citizens charters in our country. Now, based on the study, okay, the citizens charters, okay, the Citizens Charter Implementation Research Study in the Philippine government. Last 2015, a research was conducted by Lizen Perante Calina titled Citizens Charter, an Assessment on Contribution to Frontline Service Delivery. The focus of the study is the assessment of contribution of the Citizens Charter in the governments after 7 years of implementation, particularly on how frontline services are delivered in the citizens' client. Okay? She identified the Citizens Charter as a guide that clearly presented the step-by-step procedure and required fees and estimated response time and person in charge in the frontline service. Okay. In 2011, the RCS report survey revealed that out of 497 government offices subjected to RCS, 4.4 received excellent ratings in their report cards. The compliance in crafting of the CC or the Citizens Charter, out of 5,677 agencies of the Philippine bureaucracy, 4,494 or 79.16% complied as of September 2012. Now, on the adjectival rating agency, it presents that in the CC also use imperative measures in granting performance-based bonus as mandated by Executive Order 80 issued by President Benigno S. Aquino III in 2012, directing all government agencies to adopt the performance-based incentive systems for their employees, and the interagency task force under was created through Administrative Order 25. It was tasked to set forth good governance conditions for the PBB annual basis. With this requirement, the compliance to the CC has increased based on the data of DAP, Development Academy of the Philippines, and the AO25 Secretariat. The compliance rate CC was 94% in 2012 and 98% in 2013. Last, 2014, the Philippine Statistics Office conducted a statistical survey review and clearance system or SSRCS, conducted the RCS targeting 1,243 government offices all over the country, covering the period of from April to October 14. The surveyed the frontline service delivery of ratings of 1,023 offices, okay, offices and all over the country, covering the period of April to October 2014. The survey rated the frontline service delivery ratings 1,023 service offices of the 9 government agencies, namely the Bureau of Revenue, Government Service Insurance System, Home Development Mutual Fund, Land Registration Authority, and the Land Transportation Office, Philippine Statistics Authority Statistics Office, and Philippine Health Insurance Corporation or the PhilHealth, and Professional Regulation Commission or the PRC, and the Social Security System or the SSS. The Department of Education belongs to the NGAs. Okay. Okay. This is the data that I am talking to. Okay. Based on the results, the Citizens Charter studied the government. Okay. As shown as the table, there is a positive improvement in the frontline service delivery performance, with excellent rating increasing and failed ratings steadily decreasing from 2010 to 2014. The conclusion of this study that the enactment of the Anti-Red Tape Act of 2007, sorry for the typical error, a legislative initiative that promotes a good governance. The ARTA has introduced a host and comprehensive mechanism that improves the expedite and delivery frontline service, resulting to efficiency and effectiveness. Major reforms were underscored by the CSC and the DILG through the conferment of the awards and practices. It has made transacting business with the government offices accessible and affordable. Okay. However, there are still areas that need to be strengthened, especially on the issues posed on the previous chapter. It was crucial to note that compliance with the law is different from implementing, who has been complied with. Okay. It is observed that the high rating in the compliance requirement does not translate to execution of the standards. It is crucial in the implementing change in the process and procedures, and the implementers must possess the required capacity, skills, knowledge based on the public ethics. Okay. these are the recommendations. Okay, the recommendation of the researcher, uh, the provision of mechanism on citizens' participation in crafting, monitoring, and evaluation of the CC. Okay, utilization of the ICT in feedback mechanism, such as employing electronic service satisfaction button and every transactions and installation of electronic window mechanism that will obtain immediate comments and suggestion, earmarking to sufficient budgetary requirements for government agency, creation of an independent task force that will monitor the compliance to the law, composed with the members of the academe, civil society organization, media, and the public and private sectors. Creation of call centers that entertain the complaints, suggestions, inquiries, and comments. Conducting the information advocacy campaigns that in the red tape month. Okay, integration of the public ethics and capability building programs. Every government agency providing the frontline services. Now, during the implementation in 2007, the Department of Education released a department order in August 3, 2009. The last August 3, 2009, a Department of Memorandum was released, which is the DM 342 series of 2009, the title Adoption of and Implementation of the Citizens Charter in the Department of Education in compliance with the Republic Act number 9485 or the Anti-Red Tape Act of 2007 and its implementation rules and regulation. In the said memorandum, the identified frontline services of the division and schools are the following. These are the frontline services. The identified frontline services, as you see on the screen, is 11 frontline services, such as the enrollment, the recruitment and evaluation, selection and appointment of teacher 1 position in public elementary and secondary schools, appointment of promotion and teaching related teaching position, selection, promotion and other teaching and non-teaching position, selection, promotion, designation of master teachers, selection, promotion, designation of school heads, payment of travel expenses to the dependent employees, alternative learning center, all the ALS, continuing education, okay, special education, and filing of complaints. Last 2020, the Department of Education drafted the very first edition of Citizens Charter, a very recent Citizens Charter from the Department of Education, in compliance with the Interagency Task Force 8225, which is the basis of this is the granting the performance-based bonus in the bureaucracy of the Department of Education. It covers the processes of central offices down to the school field offices. In the previous identified frontline service, there were 11. Now they drafted the frontline services from central offices down to the school level. Okay. In this particular, I'm not going to further discuss with the Citizens Charter of the central office and the regional office. I'm going to be particularly discussed with you the frontline services identified in the SDO and the school level. In the SDO and school level, there were 10. Okay. Wait. There were 10. Okay. These are the following: are the submission of employment application in teacher 1 position. Okay, school learning and development, the public affairs. Okay, it was added. Laboratory and school inventory and issuance requested documents certified through copy. Issuance of the school forms. Okay, enrollment online or default. Okay, in distribution of printed modules, since we are administering the modular type of learning of our students, and borrowing of retrieving of books from the school library. Now, I conducted a particular interview with our old or former or even the senior members of the school. I conducted an interview wherein I asked them the if the in 2009 if the school has adopted the particular the citizens charter. Then way back in 2009, I asked one of my senior colleagues, Miss Adelaida Flores, one of the senior teaching personnel in SMNHS, as she recalled her memory about the implementation of the Citizens Charter in the school. It's very vague, or the sense of visibility of the frontline service in the office of the school, such as signages or the tarpaulins indicating that the elements of the Citizens Charter. Okay. However, the school head, together with the designated registrar, was a frontline officers dealing with the needs of the clientele. The parents and guardians requesting for the school documents for the students, it was directly to the office of the principal and assigned designated teacher. The school head was also officer of the together with the administrative assistant, or the ADAS, who manages the terms and administrative matters. That is in 2009. Okay. In the 2015, there were a system flow chart. Okay. And steps getting in documents of the students at the registrar's office. There is identified requisition slip prior to the request of particular documents in the office. However, it is not enough to comply with the provision of the law and the policy made by the DepEd, particularly the DepEd, they crafted. Okay. The school admin office placed a tarpaulin in the front area of the registrar's office in 2018. Okay, that is in 2018. Otherwise known as the East Doing Business Efficient Service Delivery Act of 2018, and put up a customer survey satisfaction form at the public assistance desk. Okay. In this year, the office has established the provision of stated Department Memorandum 342 Series of 2009. It covers the following services. Okay. Enrollment of the students, recruitment, evaluation, ranking, and appointment of teacher 1, ranking of and evaluation of promotion of teacher 2 and teacher 3, okay, issuance of school records and grievance machinery. In the said school CC, it indicates the vision, mission identified, frontline service, requirements, okay, processing time, and personnel in charge. Now, in the last 2019, the project proponent drafted, which is me, first Citizens Charter Manual, wherein he enlisted the detailed information in the administrative service for personnel, financial, property, and supply, and records management of the office, which is not included in 2009 DepEd Memorandum. However, the School Citizens Charter adopted the school's division office Citizens Charter, wherein the aims are to inform its client about the frontline services, documentary requirements, and processing time, and personnel in charge. Now, in 2020, okay, this is the year all services of the administrative service were stopped, okay, due to the widespread of COVID-19 pandemic. The project proponent drafted his second edition of his Citizens Charter to adopt the current situations of the school. He incorporated the steps, procedures being done in the office prior to submission in the office. Also, he created a Google link that enclosed in the year 2019 drafted Citizens Charter, whereas the steps of the particular service incorporated with the SDO Pampanga. The proponent made an observation in the Citizens Charter with the following observations. These are my observations. Okay. No, no. This is my recommendation, conclusion and recommendations. It is therefore that the CC created an impact in the Philippine bureaucracy in providing the excellent services to its people. The ARTA is notable legal mechanism is now focused on the public sector reforms and spell out the re-engineering the system and procedures in the for efficient and effective delivery of frontline services in the school administrative services. One, the school citizens charter shall adopt the new setup in times of global pandemic by utilization the information communication technology, thus it reaching out its clientele through online transaction. Okay. The Citizen Charter shall streamline the processing time and better satisfaction services provided to the citizen, lessen and returning the documents for compliance due to inaccuracy or insufficiency requirements submitted to SDO or the Schools Division's Office, educate and disseminate the school CC to its client. Sufficient information should be provided in accessible and culturally appropriate ways. Providing an information of the project allows people time to think to consider the implication to formulate their views. Okay. In this particular innovations, I drafted the objectives. The objectives of my innovation to properly record and the type of transactions. My strategy for this to get this particular objective. I created a link to collect the requested services needs by the client for the online, and then we're going to have a record book for incoming and outgoing logbook. Number two is to know the exact documentary requirements to a particular service. We have to enumerate all the prerequisite documents together with the number of copies to be submitted in the office. To fasten filling out the needed documents of the client, providing a link or QR code to be scanned that enclose all the documents needed to particular service. To lessen the time the processing particular transactions. Through this link, the QR code provided in the Citizens Charter, the client will be able to send a document on one-stop processing. And to lessen the exposure of the administrative staff to the clients, this innovation aims to streamline its procedures, step out to avoid exposure to its clients due to pandemic or COVID-19, a widespread pandemic. Then to easily identify the specific procedures being done at the school governance level. The steps of the procedures are only on the school governance. Now, on the part of the desired impact or outcome of the project, I enumerated the following. The innovation projects adopts the new normal set up in giving services to its clients, especially in this time of pandemic, wherein there should be a limited exposure between the service provider and its user, utilizing the electronically access of the needed documents of the user. It easily downloads the forms to be filled out and sent electronically or submit the papers to the office to its service provider for processing of the service. Streamline the flow of the procedure and processing time of documents at the school level. That just provides more efficient and effective in handling services needed by the client. Okay. This project serves as a compliance to the national legislature and its instrumentalities for a better guidance for public servant and its citizen. By information dissemination of this project, it may provide guided informations in access to service provided by the office. Now, since we have to create a risk management plan and out on how to counteract, in the weak points of this particular innovation. Before I'm going to discuss the strong points of this innovation, can easily access of forms, documents by clicking the link or scanning the QR code per services, limit the exposure of the clients to its service provider, fasten the processing time of a particular service, lessen or eliminated the returning of documents due to insufficiency or inaccuracy. It may strengthen the feedback mechanism by getting the level of satisfaction of the client, and improve the records management through easy traceability and incoming outgoing communications of the office. Now, I only identified the two weak points of these innovations, maybe an unavailability of the internet connections for the client, and the visibility of citizens charter to its client. Okay. Now, the plan to counteract this, I am going to provide an alternative way to in serving the client by providing the ready-made hard copy of forms of readily printing out of papers. It is available in the office. Okay. Conducting an orientation program to the stakeholders, the content of the service, administrative service office, to enhance or and to disseminate the informations on how to utilize this particular innovation. Okay, disseminate an information by posting the CC in front of the admin office, sending a copy through electronically mail in their respective DepEd account. Now, the project organizations and staffing of the personnel involved in this particular innovation, the school HRMO, the Human Resource Management Office, is responsible for the recruiting and placing the handling relations of benefits and training. Okay, the contact persons, I identified who is responsible for this, and property and supply, charge for releasing inventory of the school properties and logistics of the school supplies. Okay, finance and services, the school head and the teacher. The teacher, the designated focal person, and the technical working group in crafty the responsible for the responsible for streamlining or checking the compliance of the citizens charter. Ayan. Coordinate with compliance to the requirements of the ARTA AO25 Division ART Committee, participate in capacity building activities provided by the BHR or ROD of the division office. Now, the project work plan, the implementation, I implemented the innovations last November 15 in 2021. This is my activity. I'm going to have an orientation phase. I drafted a letter of request to school head, disseminate the orientation through a memorandum, conducted a virtual orientation for the teaching and non-teaching personnel. The target output where you have to introduce the project innovation for information dissemination. And then these are the indicators. And then during the implementation phase in November 16, I emailed the Citizens Charter, and then I posted the tarpaulin on the frontline office, printed the manual of the office, and distributed to the personnel. And then due to evaluation phase, the consulted data gathered in the customer's client feedback to measure the effectiveness of the study of the project. Okay. Now, from the budget, the Philippine request from the source of fund is coming from the maintenance operating expenses, or the MOE, and then it would cost 2,000 for the tarpaulins and then the manual. Now, on this particular data, now this is my innovation. I'm going to present with you the innovation. The project is electronically access to service delivery in administrative service office. It's an innovative method in attending the needs of the client using the Google Link platforms. In this way, all the transactions made in the office were properly monitored and attended, especially in the Citizens Charter. It can easily access all documentary requirements by getting the link or scanning the QR code to download these forms. This innovation project focuses not only on establishing the school sysadmin's frontline services, but also the streamlining of the processes and procedures by shortening the processing time and quick access to the needed documents. Okay, I arranged arranged the code. Okay, I assigned the code. For the secondary school is SCHSEC, Administrative Service Office, ADSO. General Admin Service Unit is the GASU. And then personnel is the PER. Property and Supplies, PS. Finance and Services. Since we have voluminous transactions, it compasses the processes and procedures in the office, I already assigned the codes and able to easily locate a particular services. Okay, this is the example, the arrangement of the codes. Okay, first I'm going to level of governance, the school since secondary, then the department or the particular unit. Okay, and the ADSO and the unit per, and then the number one. This is as per the prescribed. I follow the prescribed template from the department central office. This is the guidelines in crafting a particular services or the citizens charter. First on the number one is the service informations. I'm going to identify one particular service, and then we're going to have a description, a short descriptions on the particular service. Then you have to identify which office. Then what's the classification is either government, citizens to citizen, and government to client. Okay, type of transactions, and then who may avail the particular services, and then second, the completeness checklist of requirements. You have to identify of number of copies of documents, your requirements, and then where to secure those documents. Okay, and the number 4, we have to identify the steps. Okay, in the steps we have to identify the steps from the client and the steps from the agency or particular office. Okay, on the agency location. Okay, number 3, and whom. Okay, the agency actions, and then fees to be paid, processing time, and the personnel. We have to identify also the personnel responsible for this. Later on, I will going to show to you my sample services which I incorporated my innovations in project is in ADSO able to adjust the citizens charter in current situations wherein there is a limited exposure between the service provider and citizen due to COVID-19, and streamline the processing particular service in the office. The proponent created a link with QR code for easily download the prerequisite documents forms needed in processing the service. After the service has been rendered by the service provider, the client may scan or download the link in filling up the customer service satisfaction. And customer service satisfaction is very important in school CC. This is an instrument in measuring the level of satisfaction of the client. Thus, it provides information in the revision of the system procedures set by the office. And then I also identified the particular services in the personnel. These are the list of services. I identified 15 services. Okay, and I know it's 19. Sorry. Then in the GASO there were 2 identified services. Okay. And in the property and supply there were 4. Okay. And then in the finance services there were 8 services. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the my sample of sir. This is my manual actually. Okay. Okay. I formulated the table of the contents of my manual, and then I included the pledge of the public servants in the Philippines, panunumpa ng likod ng bayan, panunumpa ng kawani ng gobyerno. Then syempre I stipulated also the I although I write the I wrote the depth and vision mission, the core values of the department. Then the introduction, a short introduction, so the basis of my innovations. Now I going to I like I said before, I'm going to discuss. This is the sample, okay? For example, the going to in personnel, okay, processing a permit to teach or practice a profession. Then identify the what particular provisions of the law or the orders or the or circular in the civil service. Okay, this is the basis of the of the particular service. Then I identified the office, which is the school. The classification is very complex transactions, and then it was done within a day. Then the type of transactions is government to government or government to business. Okay, who may avail? Of course, the teaching and the non-teaching personnel. This is are the requirements. Okay, during this okay, because going to have to click this link so as to open the particular to have so that the on frontline service may saw or see the your request. This is the sample. Okay, I'm going to open this link. Okay. Okay, you will see the online citizens charter. Okay. Going to write your email. Okay. Then you have to write your name, the position, the contact number. Then you have to click what particular services you want to avail in in the in the in the school. Okay. And then if you're going to scan or click the link of provided by the you will see the all the requirements of the a particular service. You will see the all the requirements of the and then you have to download it and fill out the necessary documents. Okay, for example, you have to you're acquiring the service from permit to teach from other school or university, and the form 211, and then the form for permit to teach. Okay. Okay, and you have to fill out this form. Then after you go fill out this form, it says in the Citizens Charter, and you have fill out the request form, either walk-in or online personnel. The personnel shall submit the pertinent documents to the office services, transmitted or attached or scanned the email or the school admin. If walk-in, if it's online, the personnel in charge, the AO staff or the non-teaching personnel will receive your request, attaching your the documents required. Okay. Then you going to draft an endorsement or transmittal form for the walk-in, and then the AO staff will email the documents to the central in the division office. Sign the endorsement transmittal form or log to the logbook affixed by the digital signature of the school principal. The document shall send to the division's records unit and secure the stamp received from the unit. Send the documents through email or of the division office or the OSDS, and then after receive the hard copy on a special order indicating the approval of your request, and then the officer in charge, the AO staff, will release the special order to the client, and then the client will receive the action documents and fill out this feedback form. The content of the feedback form is this. Okay. It indicates the introductions, and then you have to write your name, contact number, the date your service required, the servicing office, particular services, it's permit to teach. Okay. Then next, you have to identify a particular date. For example, it's January 20, 2021. Okay, servicing, it's in the admin office. Okay, general admin services. Then you have to evaluate the performance. Admin, HRMO. Then you identify rating from 1 to 5. 1 NA for the poor, 1 for the poor, NA for the unsatisfactory, 3 for very satisfactory, very satisfactory for the 4, and outstanding for the 5. It may rate from with the following categories: the responsiveness, the reliability, the access and facilities, and the outcome, communication, the integrity, and the competency of a particular personnel. That's it. Now, for another I'm going to cite at least two example of my innovations. It may vary, or the content of the a particular service may vary due to its documentary requirements, but the procedure or the content, it's almost the same. Okay, for example, your client is having requesting you to have the service record or the certificate of employment and other certificates. Actually, the service record is a collection of either electronic or printed materials which provides documentary history of the person, activity, and accomplishment while serving as a member of the given organization. Okay. Same with the certificate of employment. It is used to verify the employment history of a former or current employees. Okay. For the walk-in, you have to scan also the online citizens charter or the okay. Then the personnel will receive your your request, and then the person, the AO staff will draft the service record and print it out, and have the signature of the have the principal signed the for the approval of the documents, and then you go into log and release the documents either in through via email or on walk-in. And then also after getting the action documents, the client will fill out the customer survey form or through online. This one. The overall processing time is only 10 minutes. This particular service. This kind of innovations will create an impact also with in our client. Okay, and that would be all. Thank you for listening, and thanks you for having me in this particular summit. Thank you.